my friends? It's Krebsy. Time for some War Thunder. Oh man, we haven't made a video in the last few days. I think this is task number... I really cannot remember. It's like 8 or 9. I'll have to figure it out, but I'm on the fly right now. I honestly can't remember. But why have I not been making videos in the last few days? Well, you'll find out in just a second. But today's task was to do something that was relatively actually kind of hard. And at first glance it seems simple, especially, you know, for Krebsy. But today's task was to go out into a game and become first place on your team. Okay, you need to be the highest ranking on the leaderboard and also be on the winning team. No, that doesn't mean being on the losing team. I mean, you could be leading the entire game by tens of thousands of points. I know that's an extreme example, but you could be leading the game by tens of thousands of points. And if you're on the losing team, nope, you don't get the achievement unlocked. You have to be on the winning team as well. So, I was thinking to myself initially when I saw, oh, win one game and come in the highest of the leaderboard and win. Oh, that's going to be no problem at all. Easier said than done. Alright, so I went on the TeamSpeak server first, and you know, the Krebscast, yeah, the Krebs crew. That's where all of us TKC members go on, and some of the fans and whatnot. And I was asking, you know, Beyond, so how many games did it take you? Oh, it took me 1 game. Urban, how many games did it take you? Oh, it took me 1 game or so. And it's just like, okay, well, this is going to be easy. I normally go out into games, I get lots of kills, I'm usually at the top of the leaderboard. Alright, it'll be fine. Nope, no hope in hell. And you might be wondering, well, Krebsy, does this have to do anything with the fact that you're flying with biplanes? Absolutely. My sanity was so deeply shattered doing this task that eventually I was reduced down to using biplanes. It didn't take me 1 attempt, alright? This isn't my 2nd attempt. It didn't take me 2 attempts. It didn't take me 3 attempts. Not even 4 or 5. I went through about 12 games until I came to this point where I was like, fuck it, okay, I'm just going to use my biplanes to get this victory, because I'm gonna go literally crazy with everything that's going on. Right, so initially I was thinking to myself, I'll go out with the British at tier 11, because they have pretty powerful planes then, you know, Mustang Mark 1A, Typhoon Mark 1B, and some pretty decent planes. However, the thing that I didn't realize was they don't have a whole lot of fighters around that level range. So I go out into a match, and I just get decimated. I mean, I made a few mistakes here and there, and so I lost my Mustang Mark 1A, I lost my Typhoon, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I can make a comeback. No, I can't. It was just too hard. All I was left with was my crummy planes, because the thing is with the Brits at around tier 7, 8 to 11 is that they don't have a lot of fighters. They do have fighters, but they don't have a huge amount as the other factions would in that space of levels. Because, I mean, most other factions you get 1 or 2 fighters per level. Whereas the Brits, there's a little bit of a gap. You do get fighters, but it's not a whole lot. And considering how many levels that is, like 4 levels. Oh my gosh, we crashed into each other. Yes, that was an air collision. I couldn't get out of the way. It was impossible. So I played probably 6-7 games with the Brits at that tier, and it wasn't coming together. People were having the games of their lives, so I didn't end up coming at the top of the leaderboard, whether we won or not. And then it just... Sometimes I would come at the top of the leaderboard and we wouldn't win because of ground targets. The enemy team would kill all of our ground targets. So then I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll try to compensate for my lack of fighters by going up to tier 13. Because by tier 13 with the Brits, they'll get loads of fighters, you know, more Spitfires, Typhoon Mark 1B late, and whatnot. It was working decently until then I started losing from base destructions. Because at that tier, you start seeing the Euro 2s, you start seeing heavy bombers, and there was just nothing but douchebags, and I'm not going to be light on it, but there was every single game there was a douchebag who was winning by doing a base bombing. Right, whether it's on the enemy team, our team, and it happened multiple times where I would be at the top of my team in terms of kills when a douchebag would destroy the airbase of the enemy's team, and he gets and they would get a load of points, so much that it propels them to first place, even beyond me. Despite if I have 5 or 6 kills, it was even more than my points, and they would win the game, and that would be them finishing the task. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that's definitely a good way to get the task completed, but oh man, it was so frustrating that it was just, you have to be in my position and see what happened. It was just one game after another after another. I was just not winning anything. So eventually, after 12 or so games, my sanity broke, and I was saying to myself, okay, I give up. I'm going into biplanes because people can't destroy bases at that tier. It's just not going to happen. And ground targets are probably going to be alive a lot longer. And hopefully what will happen is that it will come to a war of attrition. People will just have to destroy each other by downing as many planes as possible. So here is the game where the first game that I had in my biplanes, and lo and behold, I have finally gotten a number of kills, so much so that it's put me in first place on the team. And look at the top of the board as well, top of the screen. They're down a lot more ground targets, so it looks like it's actually going to be a win. Wow, I never thought this task would have been this hard. I think luck was not on my side, because when I went on the TeamSpeak and whatnot, you know, some other people finishing at within 1 game, 2 games, whatever it might be. Man, I spent literally 2.5 hours trying to finish this. It was painful. It was torture, and I can't even imagine how it would feel to be in your guys' positions if you just can't do any of these things. Like, you can't get to the top of the leaderboard, you can't win. What are you supposed to do? Anyway, so that was my giant rant. I've actually been working a lot in recent days at the pharmacy, so that's why I haven't been making videos. But I'm hoping, since it's the weekend coming up, I'll be able to do some more. So thank you very much for listening to my rant, guys. I really had to get that steam off. Wow. Whew, burden off my shoulders. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode.